All right, aloha from sunny, hot, climate-changed Florida. My name is Dave. Welcome all of you free radicals of every shape, size, color, denomination, orientation. I am the radical independent, and you must be somewhat radical and independent. And radical, by the way, doesn't mean we blow stuff up. Just want to throw that out there. Radical is a word that I put on this channel because I am fiercely and radically independent. I do not believe in the status quo. I do not believe in towing the line of any political party at this current moment. Tulsi Gabbard put out this tweet yesterday, and portions of Twitter exploded. In a nutshell, Obama is saying we all need a little more aloha spirit. Being respectful and caring for one another. Not being so quick to judge. Not seeing everything as black and white. I hope you'll join me and bring the spirit of aloha to the White House. So what did Obama say that's so controversial? The article from the Business Insider, Obama laid into young people being politically woke and judgmental. So, I feel kind of good in my spirit when I can agree with somebody who I disagreed with vehemently on policy. But in this instance, I agree philosophically for what they're saying. Now, for all of you on the hard left, on the progressive left, to get some of your talking points from, say, the Green Party, okay? And I like the Green Party. I wish the Green Party would run a decent candidate for president. The 10 key values which expand upon the 4 pillars in the Green Party are as follows. Grassroots democracy, social justice, ecological wisdom, ding, 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 nonviolence. Okay? You could bump nonviolence up to number 1. I think it would be better. But you cannot advocate that our country not go overseas and cause violence if you're violent here at home. Let me say that again. If you're a violent activist and you want to burn everything down, again, like the guy in the soapbox there, he says, and even if it's a metaphor, even if it's kidding around, because guess what? People on the left and the right have taken slings and arrows from media people and others who are looking for a scapegoat. They're looking for language as a scapegoat. They say language can incite people, and I think it actually can. I mean, if it's your philosophy where you're running around saying, yes, I'm going to burn everything down, then how is that going to fuel peace and nonviolence around the world? If you're willing to be violent at home, then you have no credibility advocating for nonviolence overseas. Case closed. All right, that's probably the best point I'll make in this video. So what is Obama saying here? It's so controversial. Oh, and then all the defenders of, just this idea that you can't even have a conversation with Barack Obama right now, which is crazy. All right. Again, wasn't a fan. Didn't like any of his foreign or domestic policies for that matter. He didn't understand economics, I don't think. But he had like Tim Geithner, right? So he didn't need to. Wow, Tim Geithner. What a nightmare. Anyway, former President Obama laid into the call-out culture Tuesday in a speech at the Obama Foundation Summit. Well, good for him. I do get a sense sometimes now among certain young people, and this is accelerated by social media, that the way of me making change is to be as judgmental as possible about other people, and that's enough. All right, spend a good quantity of time on Twitter. When I first started this channel, I had a different handle over on Twitter, and I gained a lot of followers. I think I was over 1,000. And when I switched the branding of the channel, where Tulsi's name wasn't in the actual name of the channel, I lost all those followers. But before that happened, I was getting just destroyed every day. So anyway, Obama says that is not activism. That is not bringing about change. How would he know about change? He talked about it and didn't deliver. Okay, fine. That's true. But then he goes on to say the world is messy. There are ambiguities. People who do really good stuff have flaws. Oh, heaven forbid. This is the whole idea of forgiveness and grace. These are religious concepts. I know we can't talk about religion on this channel. I won't do it. I happen to be a nominal Christian and believe in some of those principles. But anyway, so Tulsi Gabbard, at first she got branded as some kind of Joe Biden sympathizer, like, oh, she's going to go work for Joe Biden because she was defending Biden against Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris then came out and basically said she's got the same views on the topic that they were debating, which is rather hilarious that, all of the neoliberals kind of do agree, and they're just fighting for scraps of the neoliberal voting bloc, the resistance movement, the anybody but Trump crap, which, again, is going to get us somebody who's going to do more damage to the country than Trump. I mean this, as far as all of these policies, because nobody in the media is going to examine anything anymore, because the chosen candidate will be in. That's why Obama was able to do all the things he did. Kids in cages, Obama did that. I think he started it. Mass deportation, if you don't like that, Obama was all over that. He was doing that well before Trump was doing it. The fact that Trump ran his campaign on these issues and concepts, that called attention. And one strategic mistake, Trump wouldn't have won. His base would have been not at all energized. So he ran on those things and he won. But basically, Obama was doing the same thing. And George W. Bush was doing much of the same thing as well. So Tulsi Gabbard and her tweet here, of course, raises eyebrows. Well, she's not down with the struggle. She's not a real progressive. How could she talk about Obama this way? It's a bad... I had people saying... One guy was like trying to reach out to her campaign manager saying, hey, can you let Tulsi know that this isn't a good idea? You cannot have any... you cannot defend anybody that we don't see as part of this movement, and we cannot look back at Barack Obama in any way, in a good way, even if in this instance he's right. Okay? He's right. He was right. The article basically explains it, and I don't understand where the controversy is. The controversy is that Tulsi Gabbard is willing to step up and say, I don't think this guy is a racist. There's really no evidence of that. And I don't think this guy is a bad guy in the sense that he's trying to talk about civility. And look, if you go over to the right portion of the media spectrum, you go over to Fox News, you go over to some of the commentators over there, talk radio hosts and so forth, you know what they're talking about nonstop is the lunacy on the left. And I think they have a few points here and there, now and then. And they can certainly make a case to their constituents, their listeners and so forth, that there are a bunch of crazy people over there. Now, I agree with that. I'm trying to convince people from both maybe the left and the right that the left has some good ideas for working class people that aren't going to be enacted by Republicans. Republicans make stupid arguments that, oh, we don't have money to pay for this, and then they, $1 trillion for the war budget every year. And we don't need that. We shouldn't have that. Even a former Reagan guy the other day, Jimmy Dore covered this, was talking about how the Syria thing was almost like a false flag, and here we are again ramping up a conflict. And he worked for Ronald Reagan. Okay? So, we are... our priorities are about as screwed up as they possibly can be right now. And it's hard to convince people on the right or in the middle that the people on the left aren't lunatics at times. And their behavior and just the rhetoric and so this is the stuff Obama is addressing, and indirectly this is how Tulsi Gabbard is addressing it. Tulsi Gabbard is not going to play the game of canceling people, calling people out. Sorry, you've been canceled. I don't agree with you. So not only we're going to deplatform you, and we're going to try to vanquish you from existence. You're just going to be gone. It's like a Houdini thing. Like they were here and now they're not here. And our world is so much better. These are the same people that want to remove Donald Trump at all costs, but they don't see what might happen to the country and I don't want to say civil war because that'll probably get this video demonetized, but I do think that there is an element on the right that I think believes that we are going down a road and listening to the rhetoric day after day. It's kind of like somebody pounding a nail into your wall every day, and you hear it, you know what's coming, and you try to ignore it. Okay, and by the way, I'm not saying the right isn't guilty either, but when you've got a former president who essentially got elected by the left, and at the time he was elected, he was deemed kind of the most radical guy in a while, and then he turned out to be kind of like a moderate Republican. When you got him saying, look, tone it down, turn the volume down a little bit here, maybe he's feeling something, maybe he's seeing something and saying, we can still work these differences out. We don't have to be shouting and screaming at each other and calling names and doing the things that we've been doing, because in the long run, that means we don't get anything done, and we could end up with some type of civil, should be called uncivil, but it's going to be some type of conflict between the warring tribes. And I go back to the Green Party again. Non-violence. There it is, non-violence. And that's what Tulsi Gabbard is talking about here. Respect for diversity. Respect for one another. Aloha. Again, people don't understand what aloha is. They think, well, that's a catchy little slogan that you got there, Tulsi. And it's cute. You Hawaiians are cute. You people do some nifty things over there on the island. But here on the mainland, we're rebels. We're ready. We're armed. We're ready to go. And I think that type of rhetoric, if it's, again, elevated and it's like, well, if we don't get our way this time, the whole thing's going to burn down. You keep saying that, and someone's going to take it literally. All right? Someone's going to take it literally. Every time there's a mass shooting, people want to know what was being said prior to that, because words mean things. Words translate into actions. All right? And if we continue to feed the beast of, sort of this violent uprising, I think you're going to get one. And this is what Obama and Gabbard and some other smart people out there, who advocate, by the way, for nonviolence overseas, they're consistent and they say we need nonviolence here at home as well. So there you go. That's my video. Tulsi Gabbard, again, blowing up the internet with Aloha. And it's actually kind of interesting to watch. But I would say I don't want to just be a spectator in this, and I don't want this to be just about clicks and views. I want people to truly understand and try to practice Aloha themselves, no matter where you come from on the political spectrum. If you're on the left, you should be taking cues from Dr. Martin Luther King. You should not be taking cues from, violent groups here in the United States who probably should be labeled as terrorist organizations. I'm just saying. All right. So that's my video. I'm done. Again, does this mean I like Obama? No. But what he's saying here is correct, and this can happen. I have gotten good advice from people that I disagree with on politics, and didn't like what they had to say about a whole host of other topics, but they may have made sense on one or two issues. And so let's just turn the volume down and continue to support Tulsi Gabbard as she gets closer and closer to that Democratic nomination. 5%, and I think she's like one qualifying poll away now. See y'all soon.